All right, everybody, I'm going to give you just a super quick training on the content silo idea and philosophy. And really, this is for anybody that creates content and then wants to reuse it in the future. So whether you're doing blog posts, podcasts, images, Instagram posts, whatever it is that you're doing, hopefully it's going to keep it in a way that is a lot more organized and doesn't, make things difficult to pull back up. So let's jump into this. I'm going to share my screen here with you for just a moment. Okay, so content silos makes your content basically super easy. And I found that this has been really helpful. And when I learned this, it was definitely a game changer because I struggled with like finding files, finding stuff. And so this makes it a lot easier, especially if you create a lot of content. So first off, what is a silo? And for some reason, the picture of the silo didn't show up here, but a silo is a giant storage device that they use on farms to store a bunch of stuff, whether it's grains or just all kinds of things. But silos help you to keep things for future use. And that's what the content silo theory is, right? If you're making something, you might as well use it multiple times instead of just using it once. So before we even get into that, first off, I want to have you remember, what is the content for? Why do we create content? Content, in its essence, is a client generation and client retention tool. It's going to attract the right kinds of people to your brand or your business. And that's why we create content. It is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to get and attract people who not only are your ideal clients, but they already believe what you believe and they are compliant and they are a joy to work with. And content is how you're going to get better clients. Content is how you're going to get your dream clients and build your dream practice. Okay. So let's talk about this really quick before we jump in and I show you what that silo is. So first off, the purpose of content should be either to build an audience or to sell something. So I always like starting at the bottom of the funnel and working up because that's going to drive more revenue to your practice. And if you can do a marketing activity and it generates revenue, that will allow you to do more marketing activities. So starting with offers, we need to know, number one, what offers you have in your practice that you want to be doing. We have lead magnets. Those are things that are going to help people to take the next step to give you their contact info for your offers. We have traffic that's sending people to your lead magnets, to your content. And this is all going to be relevant here in just a second. Then beyond that, we have retargeting lists. So people who've engaged with your content or a specific type of content that you can then show offers to in the future. But building and segmenting these lists are important for sure. Number 5, we need to clearly name each one of the assets. And then we need to link the media in the proper folders so that you have it. And then typically sit down and batch things out. So once you've created a ton of content, and that's what I like to say about content, it is very, very, it feels like it takes time to do it. But if you're doing it right and reusing it, it can become a system for your practice. And let me explain here what I mean by that real quick here. So if you have any type of content that is super helpful to your clients, that helps to cut down on questions or time or anything like that, that's something that you can reuse over and over again. You produce it once and it's going to generate value for a long time. So that's a high leverage marketing activity. You're going to want to do more of those more frequently. So continually be adding more of these high value evergreen pieces of content. And a way that I could like to think about it is if you created like the best category content of something, whether it's like for new puppies or for kittens or for senior pets or for euthanasia, if you took the time to create the ultimate guide and broke it down into chunks, that would be something that you could use over and over again, and you should use over and over again. Also, if you're creating content in long form and breaking it down into smaller pieces, there's so many tools out there that can help you with that now. And so it's going to help to generate a long-term kind of effect of having content to post frequently. And I think too, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, I think you should post your content pretty regularly over and over again, just to make sure that people are seeing it. And it just gets a lot of mileage out of it. Let's jump into the silo now, okay? So this is a content silo, and I'll link this spreadsheet down. I'll change it out so that you can't see everything on it, but so that you have just an example of it. But what we have here is we have our offers, we have our lead magnets, we have our retargeting lists, and you're going to want to fill these out so that it's relevant to your client list. So for example, you'd have cat owners, dog owners, general new clients, general wellness, senior pets, right? Those would be the type of buckets that you'd be targeting with the different types of content that you'd be creating. Then we have the offers. So what would be an offer in your practice? You're going to go to your service pages, and the services that you have listed are, in fact, the offers. So schedule an appointment for surgery, schedule an appointment for dentistry, schedule an appointment for wellness, behavior, et cetera, and on and on. Okay, so you're going to put all of the URLs, you're going to put the confirmation pages. What this does is it lets you track, these are the conversion actions. We can measure where this is coming from. And with Google Analytics, we can see where all of our conversions are being attributed to. Beyond that, we have lead magnets, and then you're going to want to put a URL to your lead magnet if you haven't. So if you have any kind of guides or opt-ins or specials or promotions or anything like that, that's what goes into this URL section where those are going to be. Now we look at the actual content. So we have the title of the content, and this could be an Instagram carousel. And I probably should add that too. Here, I'll add that as well, because back when I didn't think about that specifically from social standpoint, because I don't manage social for people. I'm doing ads all the time. So you can have your platform, and that's going to be another one of these tabs down here. So we'll put content platform real quick. Look at that, I'm making this on the fly here. So 1 second. Okay, so I've gone through and edited this so that it has platform as well. So setting it out and laying it out like this makes you think about a few things. First off, it makes you think about the content. What is the goal? What is the focus from an SEO standpoint, if you want to include that, especially if you're doing blog posting? It also makes you think about what is the audience that we're going to be targeting, what is the relevant lead magnet that we could be offering, and then what is the relevant offer that's going to help us to drive response. And thinking about it from that perspective makes you put an objective on it. Now, sometimes you're going to have content that you're just trying to build audience and awareness and engagement. That's totally okay. You don't have to put that in there. You could if you want to. But not only does this let you put this in a place where everything is labeled and very organized, but then you're able to get, I think, more out of your marketing. So I'll be sure to link this example here for you. You're just going to fill this out yourself, each one of these sections. And then I wanted to show you too, I make sure and I label our files. So I have a folder there. We'll have images, videos, long form videos, short form, right? So kind of putting it by category so that we know where things are. And then within those short form videos, I'll have, like, for example, for my podcast, I have a Seth Godin folder, a Chris Do folder, a shorts folder. That way I'm staying very organized and I have all of that in just a single place. And then if I was like, oh, I want to go back and post like a clip from this podcast, I'll go through and I'll look and see which assets I have. The headlines are already written out and finished. And so it's awesome. It lets me do that. And then having that media link right there, I can just click it and access it from one place. So I put in the media link right here. I would name the media, so the picture or the video or whatever, I would name it in a way that makes sense. Typically, the subject that you're talking about, the date, and then the type of file are the three things that you need to have in there that makes sense so that you can refer back to it on a regular basis. But hope this helps, and let me know if there's any other questions that you have. So thanks a bunch and talk soon.